Whatever area of life you're trying to improve on, some sort of feedback for yourself is very important. So let's say you're trying to lose weight and you're serious about it. You're most likely weighing yourself pretty frequently. On top of that, you're probably counting your calories and logging your workouts and things like that too. Same thing with personal finance and financial independence. There are a few metrics that could tell you how you're progressing with your financial independence journey. There are 4 things I track religiously just to see how I'm progressing towards financial independence. The first one is expenses. So this one's pretty obvious, right? The less your expenses are, the lesser money you need for financial independence. And the more you're saving, more you're investing, all that good stuff. Here's why you need to track it though. Before I started tracking, I thought I was spending like $3,000 a month. But a couple months into tracking, I realized it was more like $5,000 a month. The biggest culprit was food and electronics. With food, I was eating out too much and it seemed like I was on a mission to support all local restaurants. With groceries, I was just pulling into whatever the closest grocery store is. I wasn't checking prices, I was just putting stuff into the cart and just checking out. With electronics, I was just upgrading everything way too often. So once I started tracking, it kind of pointed me to where I was inefficient and where I needed to optimize with my spending, right? I started cooking a little bit more and eating out a little bit less. I started shopping at warehouse retailers like Sam's and Costco, so that's where the cheapest prices are too most of the time. With electronics, I just quit following MKBHD and Unbox Therapy. Even though their channels are great, I was getting baited into upgrades way too often. So since then, I haven't upgraded my phone or a camera or anything for like a year. Unless you're spending less than like $1,000 per person in the household, you most likely still have room to optimize on your expenses. Once you start tracking your expenses, that's when some of these optimization ideas might pop out at you. It might be food and electronics like it was for me. It might be transportation and housing for you. So taking a closer look at it is definitely worthwhile. The second thing is income. I track my day job income and side hustle income, but separately. I track my day job income with all the benefits, the 401k, health insurance, and pension and everything put in. Once you do that, you might realize that even though your company has a good salary on paper, it might not be all that competitive with everything together. This might give you something to stand on when you ask for that raise or you decide to leave. Also, once you do get that raise, you'll realize that you'll get a little bit closer to financial independence, but it's not the biggest lever you could pull to get there compared to expenses. I put my side hustle income in the passive income column. This is because the way I have everything set up, I want to know when I'll be free from my day job. The assumption is even if I have to quit my day job or I get fired, I'll still have the income from my side hustles, assuming there's no global pandemic shutting down everything. But once I have my side hustle income and investment income covering my expenses, I know I'm at a point where I'm at least at some sort of a lean fire or barista fire. The third thing I track is savings rate. Mr. Money Mustache has his legendary post explaining the shockingly simple math behind early retirement. The biggest factor in getting to financial independence is not your income, not your expenses, not your portfolio returns. It is the savings rate. If you're saving 50% of your income, you'll be financially independent in 17 years. If you're saving 70% of your income, you'll be financially independent in 10 years. If you're saving 100% of your income, well, congratulations, you're financially independent. I want my savings rate to be a gauge of where I am with the financial independence journey. Essentially, I want 100% to indicate that I am financially independent. So the way I have it set up is income minus needed expenses divided by income. What I'm calling needed income here is expenses minus the 4% investment returns, because that's what I could draw from my portfolio once I retire, minus side hustle income, because even if I quit my day job, it'll be there. I know it's a tangled up way of calculating savings rate, but my motivation for financial independence is getting to a point where I'm free from my day job. And this kind of tells me how much I don't need my company to make ends meet, if that makes any sense. If it's too tangled up or it doesn't make sense to you, just don't worry about it. just use the traditional way of calculating savings rate. The last thing I track is my net worth. The net worth is assets minus liabilities, and your assets could be anything from real estate to stocks to Bitcoin to gold or whatever. Liabilities are just a fancy way of saying you're in debt. I'm mostly invested in stocks through index funds, so that's all I will be talking about. If you're invested in index funds, once your net worth is 25 times your annual expenses or 300 times your monthly expenses, that's when you're financially independent. As far as tools go, I just use Personal Capital to track expenses, net worth, and income. On top of that, I use an Excel sheet to calculate savings rate, the time left to financial independence, and the date of financial independence. To figure out the financial independence date, all you have to do is backtrack the compound interest formula to calculate time, and then add that time to the current date. James Clear, the habits guy, and a bunch of other people in the self-improvement circle talk about this feedback loop. Once you see that you're making progress, whether it's with losing weight or getting better at basketball or getting better at your job, that gets you excited about it and pushes you to keep going. That's what tracking does for you when it comes to personal finance and financial independence too. Once you start seeing your net worth grow and your financial independence date's getting closer, it'll push you to save more and invest more, and then your net worth grows even more and you're closer to financial independence, and then you save more, invest more, and your net worth grows. You get the idea. It'll definitely push you to optimize your expenses, ask for that raise, and start that side hustle. And before you know it, you'll be at the point where you're financially independent. And after that, you could do whatever you want. Thank you for watching, guys. Until next time, peace.